Hey guys, this pink is actually making me look a kind of feminine that I'm not comfortable with. Okay, serious. So I should have done this video 2 months ago, but I've been putting it off because just more urgent things came up. And today I finally feel up to doing it. So here we go. So 2 months ago, I officially became debt free. So the last time I gave you guys an update was when I became credit card debt free. And my credit card, I think that's where I racked up the most debt, which was about 15 to 20,000. I can't remember now. Thank goodness it's over. And it's funny to be on this side of things because I've never known life without debt. And now officially I am out of that hellhole. And I know there's a lot to be said about maintaining good credit, having something to maintain that and all of that stuff. And I agree with you guys. But I think the bigger picture here is the fact that I've just been dragging this debt for 1,000 years. Sorry, I'm gonna keep covering this up because my afro is picking through my braids. Anyway, so I've been carrying debt for most of my adult life, and it's something that I've hidden from actually my mom, who later found out about it. And she later told me that when I first told her that I had credit card debt and overdraft debt and all of that stuff, she didn't know what to say because she never pictured me as someone who would actually take out debt for something that we didn't discuss as a family. So I know it's a long story with her, but she believes that certain life decisions in terms of money needs to be discussed as a family, even though it does take away from your independence. Because I feel like anyone should decide to take out debt for anything that they want. It doesn't necessarily need to be a discussion, but from her world point of view, she feels like it needs to be a discussion to such an extent that when she needs to take out debt or when she needs to make a major financial commitment, she actually does talk to us as her kids to be like, this is what I'm undertaking and all of that stuff. I think the whole point of it is like she always thinks about her own mortality in terms of she never wants to leave this earth with hidden debts that we didn't know about. So I think that's from that point of view, but that's just to quickly explain that. So about 2 months ago, I remember this date because my intention was to actually leave about 1,000 rand in my overdraft facility. But on that day, I was like, why? Because the whole reason for getting this done or for getting started on this journey was to know what it's like to just not have debt, you know? And I end up going to the branch itself because I wanted to be clear that this I just don't need this facility to be made available to me, because at the time it was still very sketchy for me mentally. I just didn't trust that I could just have money available, and that's still a work in progress because I feel like each person goes through that type of journey. So then I went to the branch. I told the lady, make sure this is cut out. I don't want to see this anymore, etc. Blah blah blah, etc. So from that day, I would say it was the end of February, because I remember at the end of January, I just didn't like get paid like my full kind of like salary and all of that stuff. So I got this done first thing in at the end of February, but I've already been putting money towards it. So I think what I needed to contribute that month specifically was about 500 rand. So I've been putting money away slowly to take care of this overdraft facility. So I think it was in total about 5,000, which doesn't seem like a lot to other people, but based on the fact that I am kind of like a low income earner, that was a chunk of money from me. So ever since then, so end of March, I had no debt. Like, what the hell? And then now it's end of April, also with no debt. I mean, I can't believe it. So if you don't know, I'm also a student this year. So where I study, they allow you to pay, you're supposed to pay like monthly installments. So I tried saving up for that particular expense, and because of not being paid in January and all of that stuff, I had to utilize some of that money, which always emphasizes the need and the importance of an emergency fund. I mean, really, anything can happen at any time. As we speak, there's just something feeling funny on my lower abdomen. And the whole time I'm thinking, if I had an emergency fund, this would be taken care of. Do you understand what I'm saying? So my biggest financial goal this year is to definitely build up at least a 10,000 rand emergency fund. I thought to make it $1,000, which was gonna be 18, 19, 20,000 rand, but I'm not in America, so I'm just gonna adjust, even though I do recommend like $1,000. Anyway, so I have to build that up. Haven't started because I've been kind of like trying to catch up as fast as I can with my tuition money. And so far, I think I'm about 10,000 rand short on my tuition to kind of like make it for the semester. There are some things in there that are for the year, but yeah. Anyway, so then um the total of my tuition is about 40,000 rand. So I think if I can just push that along to be done maybe by mid-year, it will just free up my money for the rest of the year, rather than being in this like constant struggle like for the rest of the year. And honestly, like life is just so fragile. Like honestly, like you and I don't want to think of it that way, but that's just the situation that I'm in. With the way things are right now. So, just to give you a quick update on my finances as well, in terms of money coming in, so far I'm only left with two jobs. But the second job, I had the hours changed so that I could study because it was just interfering a lot in my study time. And by the time I got home, I was absolutely exhausted. So, my one job, I work three days a week, but it's mostly mornings. But to be honest, sometimes it does affect the other 2 days as well. So I typically work Tuesday to Thursday, but sometimes to make sure that everything is fine, I would also work the Monday and the Friday. So let's just say I work Monday to Friday, eight from 8 to 12 at my one job, and I used to work from 1 o'clock to 5:30 in my other job. So by the time I get home, it's like 6 o'clock. It just wasn't working in terms of my studies. So I had the hours changed. So now I work from 1 o'clock to 3:30. Thank goodness that's even possible. So now I get home at 4. I'm able to catch up with my studies and all of that jazz and not just leave that for Saturdays because I'm just absolutely exhausted by the time I get home. So in total, both those jobs are still less than 20,000 rand. And at some stage last year, I was earning between 20 and 24,000 rand. And this is including like my side hustles and all of that stuff. It was just constant, um, that that range, and that's where I felt comfortable. But at my morning job, one subject got taken away, so then that also got that affected the money, and here I now lessen the hours, so that's also affecting the money. So technically in both my jobs I got a pay cut, and I'm fine with it because of the situation that I'm in, which is aka my studies and all of that stuff. And I have to be honest with you, my studies are also affecting my freelance work. I'm There's a long story here, but let me cut it short by saying, so in the past 3 weeks, I had to go and do practicals at a high school because that's in line with my coursework. And I had to let go of two clients and another one coming in who really needed my services. And I did tell her that I'm only going to be available after the 26th. Today's the 30th. So this is like the only time that I can take on more work. But this is also the time that I'm preparing for my actual tests and things like that. So I definitely think that my freelancing income is not going to be that high this year, mainly because of capacity. But it would really be awesome to have built a team already, so that I know that, okay, I give minutes to this person, I give presentations to that person, and all of that stuff. But trust me, that is not as easy as it sounds. Anyway, so yeah, this video, it was supposed to be about how I'm debt free now. And honestly, like, I do enjoy my debt-free life. Like, it's just been awesome not to have your money automatically taken away the second it comes in. Like, I have full control of where my money goes, and I can't tell you how awesome that is. And I think that's the feeling that I was chasing all along, in terms of what is that gonna feel like, not to sacrifice this thing in order to pay this debt, you know? And honestly, I thought that I would be richer, but I'm not. Mainly, I think mainly because of the pay cuts. So I think, had my salaries stayed the same, and I had the same amount of hours to kind of work on my freelancing work, I would be on in a different income bracket by now. So I just have to take this year for what it is, and that's a study year, and that comes with sacrifices. I'm just glad that I took care of my debt while I was earning more money, so that I wouldn't have to worry about that now, when, like, while I'm studying. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a win-win, but a win not win in a small sad way. But I think it's just a matter of time. So, and it's kind of like a this too shall pass situation. So I just need to make sure that I get my qualification by the end of the year, and all of the sacrifice that I'm making will be worth it. And that's all. All right. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you so much to everybody who's been on this journey with me. I really love just your encouragement in the comments and all of that stuff. It has absolutely meant the world to me. And honestly, by the time I do go back to the world of credit, I want it to be for something meaningful, like just something, you know. Um, you would think that at my age, I should be like buying a house and all of that stuff, but it's just not in the cards just yet. um, there's just a bunch of things for me to do before we get to that stage, and I'm not in a hurry, because I also don't want to put like that societal kind of like pressure on myself, in terms of you should have this or you should have that and all of that stuff. For now, my biggest thing was to get over my debt. I did that. The second thing is to like study. I'm doing that, even though some days are really harder than others, I have to say. Not because of the work, just because of managing everything. And then next year, who knows what the goal is there? Because um, if I do have things in mind, it's just that I like to one and done things. Like, I like to take care of something, see it through to completion before I move on to the next. Because if I didn't, I would try to do too many things at the same time. So yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for being on this debt-free journey with me. I really thank you guys for your support. I don't want to get too soppy with this. Anyway, I'll see you guys in my next video.